Well, good morning. It is one of those days when I am up here on the flybridge of the boat with a cup of coffee in my hand doing the weather check. So I'm scanning the horizon to see what's going to go on today. There's a little bit of rain coming down, and it got me thinking that I think I heard somewhere along the line that the people that were native to the far north, the Inuit Indians up there, had 50 words for snow. Now, I don't know if that's really true. I don't think it is. But I was just thinking to myself, I'll bet the Native Americans that lived in this area and settled here before we came along and taught them English had 50 words for rain. Give me just 1 second and I'll explain what I mean. So what you have to understand is this is all kind of novel to me. I was born and raised in Utah, and it doesn't rain like this there. It's not uncommon in summer to go for a month with nothing, no moisture at all, or a storm will blow through and you maybe get a half an hour of rain and then it blows past and you're back to blue skies and the sun beating down, and so it's very unusual. And what I'm finding is it's kind of like I'm learning and paying more attention to the rain and trying to figure out how I need to react to it when it's time to go walk the dog or whatever. So I have found that there's this really fine little mist that can just happen for hours on end where it's almost not rain. It's almost like moisture's just gently falling out of the sky. I know that's hard to picture, but it's mist, okay? And then, like right now, what we're getting is light rain. It sounds like it's more than that because we're under a great big expanse of canvas here, so you can hear it hitting the canvas probably. But it'll be manageable for the next run of the dog up to the grass up there so she can do her business. And then I've seen it where it's just coming down in buckets. So, yeah. It's all new to me, but I got plenty of stuff to do, so I am going to stop jabbering away and get busy on some work here. Before I get to work, though, I just got to mention, I just caught out of the corner of my eye a sea lion splashing back into the water off the back of a swim platform of a boat over there. The harbor seals, I think they're gray harbor seals, they're smaller. The other morning, there was a whole bunch of them lined up down one of the finger piers, and a couple of them were just lounging on the swim platforms of this really nice yacht over here. Like, they pick out a really nice boat to hang out on. So the dog doesn't quite know what to make of those, and it's kind of funny because as you walk along, there'll be 6 or 8 of them all lined up side by side, facing the same direction, laying along the pier or the dock finger there. And as you walk by, all their heads come up and turn, so you see this row of heads all watching us walk by, me and the dog, and she doesn't know what to make of those. She wants to catch the birds and chase the ducks and the seagulls and the crows and the herons, but she doesn't really know what to do about the seals, so she pretty much just kind of looks at those and we keep walking. Well, hello. I know some of you sometimes think I just tear into projects without a lot of planning, and I just want to, in my own defense, show that I am reading the manuals for the windlass. So this is the wiring diagram page for the windlass itself, showing all the various connections to the deck mount switches, remote controls, etc. I bought the wireless remote control, and it's got additionally its own wiring diagram. And then I put the 2 foot switches, one for up and one for down, up on the deck, and those also have to be wired in properly. So I'm looking all that over before I tear into it, so I'm in good shape. I have a new circuit breaker that came with its new mounting panel. So this is a bigger circuit breaker than the one we had before, 110 amp. The other one wasn't quite so big. I have a control unit or a transmitter receiver for the wireless remote control. So probably these 2 units will be side by side down on the wall of the forward berth up here. And then this is the remote control right here. So this has a little mounting bracket that you mount somewhere and then just drop this into it. This can also have a lanyard on it so it can go around your neck without going for a swim. And this can give me the ability to run the winch from up at the top on the fly bridge, or if I happen to be at the helm station in here and need to raise and lower the winch, I can do that at the same time be able to control the boat. So that'll be good. There's my little wire fitting that goes in here to seal up the wire hole. I've got a couple of screws and a little stick-on label that says winch on it. I have one piece that I have not been able to identify a use for. This came in the box in the bag of all the parts with the main windlass itself. It's a piece of kind of hard plastic stuff or fiberglass or something, and it's cut in this shape that would make us believe that it's got a specific purpose. I have no idea what it's for, and it is not listed anywhere on the included parts list with the winch. There's no drawings that show some little random thing going in there, so I honestly do not know what that is for, and so I'm not going to put that anywhere until I figure out if I need it. A couple of screws. So we're pretty much good to go here. I've had some breakfast. I'm tailing off some coffee. It's one of those days when it's just rain out there, kind of steady, not heavy, but steady. So good time to be working inside the boat. So I'm just going to finish up my coffee, and then I'll tear into it and bring you along if I can. It's going to be a little tight up in there. Probably only going to be room for my head up inside of the chain locker. So what I'm going to do is I have to go up in the forward berth there. I'm going to pull the mattress off the top bunk, put it down on the bottom bunk, or move it up here somewhere or whatever for the time being. And then I can take the doors off. They just lift up off the hinges of the anchor locker, so it'll be wide open. I've got my light bar that I bought that goes on my head with a strap, and it kind of almost wraps all the way around your forehead, giving light in all directions. It's really bright. It's really nice, especially it seems like as you get older, you have to have bright light on stuff or you just can't see it. But I think I have everything I need. I've got my wiring box with all my crimp-on connectors and shrink wrap and all that stuff, or heat shrink. So I think I got everything I need to tear into this today, and hopefully at the end of the day I'll be able to check this off and say the winch anchor windlass is now operational. Alright, first things first, let's get this thing opened up. I think I might forego moving the mattress away, because that's kind of a big pain in the butt, but let's see how it goes. So this is the old spot where the old circuit breaker was. I've already got it disconnected, or at least loosened up from in there. So this is the first door, and we just lift these off. These are the new wires hanging down from the switches, so up and down. These are the new wires that run to the windlass itself. This is the control wires, and this wire also comes from it. And I'm not sure what this one is, but I'll go look at the instructions. But anyway, here's our old circuit breaker right here, and it looks like that one was triggering a solenoid up at the top. All right, well, as ever, not too scary. So I took off, there was a solenoid here. I'll show you that in a minute. I have my black ground wire, my red hot wire, and I have these two wires which are yellow and blue, which I'm assuming have to go up to the dash, to that rocker switch up there. Okay, I'm at the helm station down below now, and I've already taken the screws out of this panel here. We got our wipers here. I think these are those little blowers up there by the windshield, which are supposed to defrost you. None of those appear to be working, but whatever. And then the horn, again, not working. That's weird. But this is the switch I was talking about that was the current windlass switch. So it's on and it stays on, off and stays off. So you'd have to go up and off to let it go. And I think what would be better would be just a standard rocker switch that you push and let go, push and let go. So I will see about changing out that switch under there. But for a minute, let's go down and see where our wiring comes in. You, my friend, are staring at a person in the middle of a conundrum. I will explain myself. It is currently Sunday morning, and I am going to show you what it looks like out the window of the boat here. So stand by. Okay, you saw that blue stuff up in the sky, right? Where there is currently no clouds. Well, that's the first time that's happened in about 2 weeks, I think. The one thing I am learning about the Pacific Northwest up here is it can just rain every single day, day in and day out. I now have an inventory of waterproof everything, a waterproof coat, waterproof hat, waterproof gloves. I bought some waterproof pants and waterproof boots because I'm tired of coming back from walking the dog and being soaked to the bone. So now that we have a dry-ish day, and when I look over there straight over that way, which you can't see, but I can, is the Olympic Mountain National Park, or Olympic National Park mountains showing off in the horizon over there. It's looking like a really good day to be out poking around in the mountains somewhere. And at the same time, I'm going to show you what my dash currently looks like. So that panel that's up out of the panel there is the panel that has the switch in it for the windlass. And as you recall, I started this video out saying I'm going to be finishing that windlass wiring this week. So I'm torn. Part of me wants to just go play. And part of me is going, you know what, you still have a day job during the days, and so you better take advantage of this full day when you don't have to do anything but really walk the dog, no email to answer, no phone calls to take, no work to be done that's paying the bills, but boat work. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but when I figure it out, I'll let you know, and hopefully it won't take too much longer. It can't actually, because I'm almost done with my coffee, and I'm going to have to make a decision here pretty darn soon. So you'll be as surprised as me probably to find out whether we stay inside and work today or we go play. Yes, I decided to get the work done instead of going off and playing. However, I have got a little bit of a head scratcher here. This is the wiring diagram that came with the remote control. Okay, and these wires I have no problem on. Green is green, in this case yellow, whatever. That's power. This is going over here. Brown is going to down on the switch, right? So here's our brown wire, connection point right here, comes down here, goes to the down side of the rocker. The weird thing is, up here, if we follow that same line up here, we are connected to the up switch of our floor mount switches. And they've done that to me a couple of times. So it's the same in here. This one, the master diagram that has everything, is a little ambiguous because here's our same 3 wires. Blue is up. Blue is up here, right? But blue is definitely connected to the down button. Up, down. Here's our blue wire connected to our down switch, but to our up side of our rocker switch. So what does that mean? All right, well, don't judge me. It's not done for real. It's done just enough to test everything and make sure I got my wiring done right. So stand by. I'm going to show you what this is looking like at this point, but don't judge me. It's not done. It's just done enough to make sure everything works, and everything works. Okay, so here is the remote control, or the transmitter, I guess you'd call it, for the wireless handheld switch. Everything's marked up, down, power, and ground that needed to come out of there, and they're marked on the other end over here as well. I've got a connector block here that's going to my, bringing all my ups and downs and my powers together. I've got a small fuse holder here so that this is the power. If we lose the fuse, we may have an issue. So far, no issues. I bought a connector block here that gave me a way to hook my wire out of the winch to an extension block cable up here to my breaker, or circuit breaker. So I think I probably could have gotten by with 18 inches of that. I think I got 30 or something, but that's okay. I will be tying everything off and getting everything now out of the way. So I will probably go and get me some wire loom to put around these small wires. This wire that's not hooked to anything right now is the chain counter. So this has the ability to go to a dash gauge on the dash that tells us how much chain we have out. I wouldn't mind having that, so we'll see if I get one of those. But yeah, I've tested everything. I've tested both the switches up on the deck. They work just fine. They go down and up in the proper order. I've tested my little handheld remote control unit, and it works from up on the fly bridge, so that's all good. And then my switch in the dash had 3 posts on it, one for up, one for down, and a center one I think is power. And that's not working right now. My guess is because that center power one is wired to one of the switches on the dash, which is not turned on right now. And I don't know which switch it is, so rather than just turn them all on, I'm going to go trace that wire and see where it goes. But yeah, everything worked. Everything's working fine. And best of all, nothing's on fire. So there's the bonus. All right, well, I've got this project pretty much wrapped up. The cleanup is left to be done. I got to clean up, put all the tools away. But I thought I'd give you a quick look. So what I did is I put a little piece of oak there. I stained it real quick and threw it up there to give me a mounting point for my new circuit breaker and the transmitting unit. And you can see we're powered up now. This circuit breaker, if you push it there, it pops this little lever down and opens it. But there we go. We're online, and you can see no more wires hanging all out up here. So what I did is I went and got some of this braided wire loom. I really like this stuff. I use it a lot on the Jeep. So all my small wires are going through 2 different chunks of this. One where the wires come down from the switches to my little mounting block. I have that screwed to the back of this wall right here, as well as that big connector block for my big cables. These style cables is right back up in here. I didn't actually turn out to need the ground one because the existing ground wire that was coming in had enough room to reach that block. I did use the hot one. Obviously I needed to break that hot into 2 chunks anyway, because we're coming off that circuit breaker and going to the windlass. And before, it was the old way it was wired before was it was coming off of the old circuit breaker and it was going to a solenoid. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe that there must be a solenoid up inside of there, because all these wires to the switches and to the transmitter and all that are really small. So yeah, we're all done. Everything's installed. I can close up the anchor locker doors now. And then, like I said, I just got a shload of tools and stuff to put away. But I'll put all those away, and then we're going to call this project done. Checked off the list. So there we go. Anchor Windlass complete. Oh, not 100% complete. I don't have that switch in the dash working yet. It is wired in up here However, I started thinking that maybe that third wire comes down here. So I'll probably look for that at some point. But between the switches on the deck and the wireless remote control, maybe I don't need that switch on the dash, but I will finish that at some point. I'll make sure that I've got that wired up so that it works, and then take it from there. But for right now, we're calling this project done. All right, there we go. Buttoned up and put back all together. Everything's ready to rock and roll. And if we had a question about how many tools it takes to perform a project like this, about this many. All right, well, I think I'm going to give myself a break and call this project complete. I showed you down there the forward cabins all put back together. I have not mounted my remote control yet. I think I found a spot for it. I'm up here on the flybridge right now, and I think it will go right over here quite nicely. That will offset the fact that our radio microphone is over here on the other side. So I'll do that probably, but not right this minute. I also need to seal up around those foot switches a little better up on the front, because I was under there working and a big old drop of water dripped off one of the wires and hit me right in the forehead. But other than that, we're going to call this project done. And I'm going to wrap this up and get it up in the can for you. Next time you see me, I'll either be here or I won't be. I don't know for sure. I got to get back to Salt Lake soon, but the Seattle Boat Show is coming up, and it looks like they have some seminars you can attend that would be really useful for a landlocked guy like me to go listen to some of the experts who've been cruising around up here their whole lives or for a long time and get some wisdom and knowledge. But for right now, I'm going to wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, what you're supposed to do is click the like button down there. If you leave a comment, that's always useful. If you have not subscribed to the channel, well, that's free, and you probably ought to do it just so you can keep up with the adventures of me. But anyway, I'll see you next time around.